Hey everybody, it's Bust. We're kicking off Expedition Trial numbers 268. It's our second trial of the Empires the Ascended. Let's see what shows up here. Unfortunately, none of the new champions here. I'm kind of interested in trying out the Lucian. Kind of two things with this. Ideally, it could pull up a who's he called? A Kindred second. I think the Kindred card pool looks pretty powerful. Has a lot of the same themes that we see out of Retribution Callista. Should be able to put together something pretty reasonable in the kill your own units kind of sense. They should play together pretty well. And then there's also so much of the challenger theme rolling around now with the addition of Jarvan and all of the rallies and everything going. I think if we get cool things going with Lucian, there's a lot of Lucian things I'd like to try out if we were able to get him to show up. And so these other card pools are okay. I did actually just finish up the Expedition Helper for the new cards. The devs got that released pretty quickly for the new set, and there weren't any real changes to either Maokai or Trundle. I think Trundle got like one card added and Maokai got zero, but I don't like starting with Maokai. This is a supporting champion. You know, if we start out with Lucian, we're super happy to pick up Maokai second. There's a lot of cards in here like the Blighted Caretaker, Neverglade Collector that we really love to have within a Lucian deck, but the build around with Maokai feels pretty weak, and so I've probably killed myself with Maokai's ability more times than I've actually flipped him, and I don't really like to build towards this strategy. And so, you know, Trundle would be reasonable. Not opposed to taking this Enlightenment Trundle, but I think we could get some interesting things going with Lucian should the cards play our way. As usual, we'll get this pulled up on the site. This is ftpbus.com. It's where I keep my collection of expedition-related content. As I previously mentioned, the expedition helper here is updated for the release of the new cards, so you can come in here and find your kindreds that we mentioned. It has all of the cards that live in this card pool, and then my kind of ratings for what's good and what's not. And so with the Lucian pool, let me get it pulled up real quick. There's, a handful of things we like to do with this. There's really, kind of two strategies that really play towards Lucian if we're doing, full build arounds. We kind of mentioned earlier with Kindred, the very easy way to just kill off your own units, Blighted Caretaker being the ideal unit that we would be using to kill off our own things. Just kills one unit. The two saplings provide two more units, so then we just need one more unit to die, and we get our Lucian flipped. This is, the way to go about it if you aren't able to utilize Senna. That's just kind of the quick and easy way to do it. It tends to be a really low to the ground aggressive deck, and so the other kind of cards like Blighted Caretaker tend to play really well here. And so we do either try to put together this, kill your own units theme. You can get some side advantages out of things like Radiant Guardian or making Remembrance cheaper, but in general, we try to just make this a really low curved ultra aggressive deck. The second thing that we try to do with Lucian is pair it up with Noxus and try to get together this kind of attack multiple times with quick attack challengers theme. And so this is what we used to see out of Relentless. It used to be Relentless Lucian and with Katarina. It's now he's been replaced by Quinn. But we would kind of pull off the same thing. If we take Lucian or we take Senna, wherever she's at down here, we give them Challenger, then they're just almost guaranteed to win any combat that they get into against whatever they want to do combat with. And then if you're able to throw in a rally, whether or not you use Lucian's flip card in where'd you go? Relentless Pursuit. It's rare, right? Is it not even in here anymore? No way. Relentless Pursuit's not in this pool. Anyways, there's Relentless Pursuit. There's the new card that we're going to get smashed by in recent times. The new card out of the Jarvan set that gives a unit barrier and then rallies, and then Katarina has some rallies on her side. But those are kind of like the two main decks that we try to put together. You can also try to slot him into a elites build around. Since you're going to be doubled up on Demacia, you can take advantage of Vanguard Bannermans and such, but those are the big ones. The big deck is actually the Shadow Isles one. The Relentless kind of theme is also good, but a little bit less powerful. And then, of course, if we can kind of fall back, to finding a Jarvan or a Garen, that would also be okay. All right. Well, we're going to take the Sivir here. It didn't come together exactly how we intended. I haven't got to play Demacia with Shurima, but we can probably put something together here, and then I really just fully intend on building around this Sivir, which is moderately interesting in a couple senses. Taking a look at her card pool, I was really not knowing what to expect to show up with Sivir. As far as units go, we have the Bloodthirsty Marauder, which is fine, but we can get it pulled up on the side. It's a little bit easier to see here. Where are you at? She doesn't have like a lot of actual real units in here. There's Callous Bone Crusher, but that is it at the common slot, right? It's just Bloodthirsty Marauder, Callous Bone Crusher. You're gonna have to look towards the Hibernating Rock Bear and Salt Spire, and so I wasn't really expecting Sivir to have this built-in kind of landmarks theme. I thought that was really going to be in the wheelhouse of Talia, but it is what it is. That's what's here. And so the way I've really kind of looked at Sivir, can't see her flip here, but whenever she flips, whenever she attacks, she gives all of your attacking units her keywords. And so she starts off with quick attack spell shield. You attack, you should give all of your units quick attack spell shield. You're probably just going to win the game at that point. But the big thing I think we should be looking to give Sivir is Overwhelm. And so if she just gives your entire team Overwhelm, you should win the game pretty quickly. That should play well enough with Lucian, with him having Double Strike. Double Strike and Overwhelm, extremely powerful together. And then these Rock Bears from Hibernating Rock Bear and Salt Spire, also pretty powerful. And so, I think we can pull off something with these. I did notice that, she has Quick Attack, Lucian has Quick Attack, Senna has Quick Attack. Maybe we can find a way to get some challengers with these units, but I think I'm kind of really interested in Bloodthirsty Marauder here. I should say the way that we intend on giving units, what's it called? Overwhelm is with these lucky finds. I want to see real quick with the lucky find if you can give challenger. LOR. Good deal. Lucky find. I know there's like this gigantic list of like all the different lucky finds you can make. We got to go about it this way. It's not going to be on here either. Anyways, I can't remember if any of them have challenger. Oh, this is the way we can do it. There we go. I knew we could find this some way. Let me see. Too bad you wouldn't be able to control F on this page. Payday. There we go. No. Oh man, when the set first came out, they just had like the gigantic list of all of the lucky finds that you could get. And so, I'm not like super excited about that, but if we can get Challenger with it and if we can get Overwhelmed with it in addition to the plus stats, then I think we should get some pretty good usages out of Payday. And so, that's kind of the idea here. We should maybe be able to get the quick attack Challenger thing going. I love having Bloodthirsty Marauder as an early game unit with Lucian. And then we can just kind of see what we can pull off from here. Siphoning Strike, also very good with Lucians. I think this should be kind of interesting. And so let's dive in, see what we can do. Okay. And so with this, I'm really not looking to take mobilizes. Laurent Duelist would be good here. This would be our way to give quick attack, give Challenger to our units. But, if we're going to be taking a Hibernating Rock Bear, which should actually be pretty reasonable, I think we want the Psy Scout to go with it. My kind of thing with Boomerang Blade, maybe we should take it just to give it a go, so it helps kind of keep us in this reputation card pool, is that I don't feel like this is actually a removal spell, right? I mean, it's what it says it does. You get to strike 2 of your enemy's units, but this to me feels like a mechanic to like level up Sivir, right? A way to get 10 damage in with a Sivir. Maybe you get to activate Reputation twice, and then as a side bonus you get to kill some units maybe. And I don't really want to look at this card as a removal spell that does something else. I want to look at it as an activator for Sivir that also might kill some units. And so we should probably at least give it a try. The other card, the Incubator card, just kind of seems like it's going to be a just kind of a filler card, not something that we're really taking advantage of. And okay, here's some of the cards I was kind of interested in seeing, right? If we're talking about Lucian, talking about Senna, maybe we'll have Sivir come up. Getting into this Challenger card pool with Jarvan. I think, with these quick attacks, if we have a few ways to give Challenger to our units, we should be able to pull off some pretty powerful plays. And so I'm interested in that. We are seeing the Noxus half of the Reputation deck show up. This is actually the LeBlanc piece of this. I don't think I really want to be diving into Noxus. I think that's just going to get us, spread kind of thin on what we're trying to pull off. And so I don't really want to search for the Glory Seeker or the Might. And then down here, these are just a little bit too slow with the Spirit Fire and Destined Poro. And so all in all, I mean, we're getting a removal spell and then a good aggressive unit. I think that should play off pretty reasonably here. And okay, continuing on with this aggressive theme, Penitent Squire, we don't have any elites yet except for the Vanguard, but hopefully we'll be able to reasonably activate this. The Tattered Banner does give us the ability to give a unit Challenger, and it looks like this Challenger pool should be kind of like showing up a bit. I don't really plan on taking any Jarvans. I kind of plan on building to Sivir here, but this is kind of exactly what we're looking for here. Just some of these early game plays, a way to give Challenger. I think this should be good stuff. Okay. Alrighty, and then so, kind of the backwards way of doing it. Rockhopper makes Roiling Sands. Roiling Sands gives opponent unit vulnerable. So that's kind of the backwards way of getting Challenger on things. So I think these are fine. I'm not like real keen on taking Great Horn Companions, but I don't want the Azir Sand Soldier makers, and then this is our last chance to pick up Noxus. Also do not want Noxus, and so I think these Challenger guards are a pretty reasonable pickup. Okay, and here's something I was curious if was going to start to happen, if we were going to start to see these Battlesmiths. Both Battlesmiths and Reinforcements live in Challenger. This is, again, the Jarvan kind of card pool. Basically, like Elites Light plus Challenger cards is what we see out of the Jarvan side of this. And so if we're going to start seeing Penitent Squires, I'd love to see Battlesmith show up. Battlesmith does at least have some minor combos with things like Silverwing Vanguard, and then this guy here is just great. Big interactive unit. Kind of everything we're looking for here. This is looking like a pretty good start to what we're trying to pull off. And then again, I do really like Exhaust. I don't know if I kind of like it. It plays differently than the Bilgewater card that lets you draw a card, but this does have focus, and so you can play it and then still open attack on your opponent. I've only played a few games with Exhaust, but I've been pretty happy with it. I do not like Ricochet, but I do want to give it a shot at least. We got to at least try these cards and see if they're as terrible as we think. What I kind of envision happening with Ricochet, and how I talk about this is, if this dealt 5 damage to opponent's face, if it was like a more expensive Decimate, perfect. That's something we're willing to play. Or if, it did 5 damage to enemy units as kind of a weird AoE, maybe you can use something like Funsmith to make them deal a bunch more damage to your opponent's units. Fine, that's okay. But what I envision happening with this is we're going to deal 2 damage to a unit with 3 health. We're going to maybe kill a 1 health unit, and then we're going to do 2 damage to our opponent's face, and it's just not quite worth the investment. And so we'll give it a try. I don't think I'll like it, but it may be good. Maybe we'll be surprised. Okay, this is a tough one. I think Rampaging Bakai. I don't know if my Appalachian accent will will come out with these. This is who I think is the best card here. I think this is one of the better cards in the set, but we don't have any of these, kind of slay abilities. We don't have any of the self-kill your own units kind of theme, and so I think we would have a bit of trouble activating this. And then I don't want Rite of Negation, right? We never want denies an expedition. This is kind of, supercharged deny, and I just don't think there's enough times where this is ever actually good. So, I mean, between these here, I do like the Hibernating Rock Bear, but I think I want to kind of stick to these Bloodthirsty Marauders, just stay real low to the ground. Unraveled Earth makes these Roiling Sands, which again gives our opponent's units vulnerable, so we could hopefully get some quick attacks on our opponent's things. I mean, at this point, we just have Lucian and Sivir, so that theme isn't like really developing here, but I think this will be a pretty reasonable way to go about it. Oh man, too bad with the Bannerman. I would love to pick up Vanguard Sergeant. This would actually play very well in our deck. The Bannerman, it's a coin flip at this point. I don't think I'm going to be too excited with that. And so, as far as these go, I mean, I do want the Squire. I think this is our ideal 1-drop, but it's just kind of like we have the ways to give Challenger now, right? We have, let's see here, we have 1 in the Exhaust, 2 in the Rockhopper, 3 in the Unraveled Earth, 4 in the Sand Spinner. Felt like we had a little bit more. I thought we were up to getting to like 5 or 6, and so this would kind of just like finish it off for us, but it's kind of awkward in the sense that we don't have the quick attackers that we were looking for. Then I would love to find a payday. You know, if we're going to get one of these one drops, picking up a payday is not that bad. I still would love to give this a chance, but I think the Squire and the Duelist are just a little bit better. What do our elites actually stand at here? We've got, I forget that we do actually have to have elites to activate some of these things. We just have the two. We have the Vanguard and the Battlesmith, so that's pretty low. So tempted just to take, I think I am just going to take these elites. The Bannerman, you know, coin flipping with it kind of sucks, but the big thing I actually want here is Vanguard Sergeant. And so I think that'll play out okay. Oh, cool. And here's some more elites with the Battlesmith First Blade. I think that's actually going to be very good. I'm not sold on Unraveled Earth being very good. I do worry that we're not always going to get the full amount of Rolling Sands out of it. This Marauder Payday seems fine, but I do want to kind of pick up this elites theme just a little bit. And second Vanguard Sergeant's great. The Lookout's not that good, but you know, he can pick on some 1 health units. There's a lot of Sand Soldiers and things running around now. Perhaps he's okay. All right, and as we said, we got to pick up the Vanguard Sergeants. Here's our opportunity for a third one. It's not that bad. It's got a Challenger in it. We haven't really picked up very much late game here, which kind of worries me to a degree, unless we just want to call for Demacia our late game, in which case we're okay. But I don't want Inner Sanctum. I mean, we've passed on every way to give our Sivir these lucky finds. I hope that's not going to turn out to be a mistake. I mean, it doesn't feel like we're really going to need Overwhelms, but I do kind of want to give these lucky finds a try. So, interesting. I think we still just want the Vanguard and the Lancer. Okay, our last choice. Of course, there is single combat, or not single combat, concerted strike. We do have the one, what's this called? 7 to a unit, 4 to it, or 2 to a champion, weight of the judgment. Yeah, so we have like one way to go about this, but I think we really just need to come in and pick up the removal spell. So concerted strike is going to be better than single combat. Okay, and cool. The Captain Arika, you know, he's not usually my kind of go-to big boy, but you know, he's a removal spell. He's really tough to deal with. He has elite. He's going to play to a lot of the themes that we're really looking to fill in here. And okay, if you're not familiar with what we do at this point of the trial, we do have to go and turn a card premium. What I was actually going to do here was, you know, the new set just came out. It's our second trial, but we're really getting rolling now. The Expedition Helper was ready immediately, and so as our kind of thank you to Riot for having the Expedition cards ready right away, we're going to go and level up a champion. And so let's boost up Sivir here. She can be premium forever, and welcome to the party. We are going to have to go and craft her though. Oh, unowned. Let's see. I mean, we only have 43 champion wild cards, and so you got to spend them at some point, right? So there's Sivir. There's the premium. All right, she's ready for battle. Good stuff. It's all right. Yeah, it seems like it came together reasonably. I was really hoping for more, you know, quick attackers. Didn't see Senna ever, but we've, you know, kind of morphed into this Jarvan Challengers deck that just doesn't have Jarvan in it, and so I'm interested in seeing how a lot of these cards play out. But nonetheless, pretty reasonable start. It was this Darius Jinx. I don't think we need to start with Purify, and then our curve is pretty powerful otherwise. Can't do like Marauder plus War Chef. Well, I mean, we can't do Marauder, War Chefs, and Exhaust. So could be a bit awkward if he starts off with one of the high quality one drops, but I think we'll be okay. Like, right, if he plays like the Last Breath Reforge unit on his first turn, that's pretty bad for us. Oh, and he discarded Thermogenic Beam. Okay. I'm on board with what's happening here. If his idea is just to play another Daring Poro, then this War Chef's going to be fantastic next turn. What up, Premium Sivir? Look at that. Look how shiny and stuff that is. Pretty cool. Perfect. Right, Lucian making an appearance. That's good stuff. I'm just going to play Lucian so that we can exhaust next turn, and then this combination of Lucian and all these other dudes should be pretty close to closing this out. I don't think we need to play Sivir. I think Sivir actually plays more like an 8-drop, right? I don't think there's very many times we want to play her when she's not flipped. I think it's one of the few champions we're actually cool with playing 2 copies of one champion and 2 copies of another champion, since we aren't really built towards Lucian or Senna. Okay, then we're going to exhaust something, but I think the only one of these units we really care about is like Daring Poro. If we attack with everything, he can get a value block with the Crimson Disciple, which is kind of awkward. But I think we probably want to just go ahead and make sure that that can't happen. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Let's see if he passes. Okay, just saved the day for us. He could have just passed the turn back to us. I forgot that the card has focus, and we were going to hang on to priority. All right.
Head to the face. We ride as one. Yield or perish.
This thing's just gonna die anyways, so might as well do it like this.
No one goes hungry.
Wait a minute. Something the matter?
Okay.
Too damn soon.
Combat gets a little bit scarier for him. Slowly tick up our Lucian. We ever just end it with Vanguard Sergeant? Like, this is the point where we'd like to see Overwhelm with the Sivir. But no, we have to take Von Yip down. Very good chance. Like if he follows up with a double trouble, then we're gonna have a real problem with the size of his units. Alright, so it's slightly awkward. I think we probably just want to play the Sand Spinner and take down one of these little ones. We could do the same thing with the Swiftwing Lancer, but kind of like my ideal is we might need to bank up some of this mana to try to Fort Demacia on our next attack. And so there's not a whole lot of difference between playing the Lancer and the Sand Spinner, outside of it just letting... Oh, god damn, this was a 1 health, 1 attack one? What the hell? Oh, it was because I gave it -1 attack. I was like, what the hell's wrong with this? Okay. Do we just... I can't imagine we want to ever just kill our unit. Let's make him block with the Taskmaster if he wants.
Oh, you'll scream.
So our Sivir will be flipped now if we play her. As you can see, this is where I kind of wish we had those paydays. I try to search up an Overwhelm for her. It's kind of scary. Very good chance he empties his hand here.
The finest Demosian steel. I fight
Oh
for
boy.
Noxus.
I fight for control, pew pow, kablammo.
Or so we're just gonna take... I think we're just dead, right? We could have gone for the Fort Demacia, but I really did not foresee a Darius coming down. So we could put 4 health in front of him. We're gonna take 4. Well, this will just get us to 1. So I think we have to go about it. No, we don't. We can block Darius with the first blade, and then we just have to put something in front of Jinx, likely the Battlesmith. Okay, I think we're still okay here.
Smile, it's called gunplay.
Not
Like this.
another step.
Oh, we're just dead? Did I count that wrong? Apparently so. Alright, so that's unfortunate. I mean, I would have never imagined that he was going to just drop the Darius as well.
Noxus.
So we could have done that differently. We could have challenged down these Daring Poros, but I thought we were a little safer than it turned out we were. interesting. I'm kind of tempted to just get rid of Purify for Weight of Judgment, but we do have the opportunity to pick up Cytherea. I think she's just too powerful to let go. She's an elite, so she plays to some of our abilities, like our Behold with the Squire and the Battlesmiths. Makes all of our units huge. Do have to give up on an Exhaust, but we didn't really have trouble interacting with our opponent's units that game. So I think, you know, we're good to pick up some more of this ability, but we're also okay to let it go. Cytherea is just too good to pass up. Alright. See if we can salvage this one. The deck seems fun. This is a bit of a surprise Darius. I felt like we were about to get in a spot to where we just attack and he has to block everything and then we're fine from that point forward, but wasn't quite the case. So, I mean, this seems like a reasonable start. Against Kindred Azir. Would like to get out in front of this Azir. As we found in the previous trial, what you tend to run into with Azir is, you know, he feels like a support deck in a lot of ways, to where he's not real good at attacking. Or I'm sorry, he is real good at attacking, not real good at defending, right? Since he only has the Sand Soldiers half the time. And so I'm curious to see if that's how this plays out here. Okay. Could just be on the more along the lines of the what's his name, Kindred side of things. Oh boy, somebody's coming down quick. Interesting time to draw Battlesmith when we have all these elites in our hand. Can we ever just run this out? I think we have to. I have to assume he drew Kindred, given that he didn't play. Oh boy. Yep. Oh, it's so bad now. Yeah, I have to assume that he drew Kindred, or he would have just played Azir last turn, right? Got an attack in. Okay. All right. Well, he's going to be a lot better at this control deck thing than we are, so I'm a little worried about how this one's shaping up. He's drawing all these extra cards. He has his Kindred. Don't have a very curve happy hand here. This is exactly how you do not want your mana curve to look when you have 5 mana and then you can play only one of your units. This is extremely bad.
The hunt begins.
Okay, we did at least pick up 2 answers to Kindred here. Hopefully this will help us turn the corner a little bit between the Sand Spinner and the Strafing Strike.
Fall to pieces.
Oh, that bursts. Oh, man. Okay, so we're going to have to at least do it this way. Ally enemy. Take him down to 3, and then Sand Spinner will get the kill. But I mean, against a deck like this where we're worried about losing card advantage, I'm not really stoked about getting a 3 for 2. Especially with the makeup of our hand being pretty horrible and awkward. Alright, maybe Captain Erika will help us bring this back.
Discipline and steel. The desert by my side. A symbol worth.
Got it.
Don't back down.
Okay, we can probably block 1. I don't think I want to trade my Bannerman for a Doomkeeper right at this point, so I think this is okay. Gonna Erika this thing. It's not exciting, but at least get it off the board. I guess our other choice is to just play War Chefs and afford Demacia. See if we can't bait out a better unit. And I think I kind of like this. We gotta be doing something here. And so this is gonna be like really brutal if he has like the Sandstorm Maker or whatever That stupid thing is called the Desert Soldier. But wow, I actually got a kill. Right. Suited a 3, a 1, and a 1. I'm sure I'll just prevent this 8, maybe take the 5.
Keep your distance.
Okay, sure. Alright, so I mean, like, the best case scenario that we could have open up here is that he plays just like a big dude, right? If he plays like a 7-drop that doesn't do anything, and then we're able to hit it with Captain Eureka and open for however much, like 7, 13 damage this is. Got some options here.
Shurima, your emperor has returned.
He's too close to flipping.
One heart can shape the fate of a nation.
I guess we can find ourselves in a spot with ricochets to where it just goes to face if our opponent doesn't have any units. I guess that could be a reasonable way to get the damage out here with this ricochet. But no, okay. Guess that was enough. I did not feel like you were in a prime winning position there, but opponent disagreed. Okay, so again, like we mentioned it earlier, I'm not like super opposed to just having 2 Sivers, 2 Lucians, right? She's like okay to play on turn 4 and turn 5. Kind of the ideal I had with like Sivir is, you know, she's probably gonna like come down on turn 4, maybe attack and your opponent blocks, and then she can trade with something, you get a 2-for-1, and then you play the Sivir that you really want on like turn 8. When she's flipped and she can spread these abilities out across everything. That's kind of how I felt like she would go. But again, like I don't feel the need to stack up, you know, 3 Lucians or 3 Sivers. This is one of these decks to where we're not like super built around a champion. But I mean, we are with this deck where we have 2 Battlesmiths. We are, you know, slightly pushing towards elites. We are, you know, kind of building up to getting more value out of Vanguard Bannerman. And so I'm kind of tempted to just take the Lucian, although we do miss out on our chance to try this what's it called, Inner Sanctum kind of generaty thing. So I think this one's close. I don't want the Garen. This is like the first time I've seen 3 Vanguard Sergeants in in like a year. These used to be all over the place before the Rising Tides came out. It was just like every Demacia deck was throwing like 2 and 3, 4 Demacias at you every game. So it's really strange to see so many of these pop up. But how can we best take advantage of this? I think this Sivir is probably a little weaker than we want it to be. We'll probably just end up taking the second one. You know, we don't have any Lucian combos here other than him being a cheap unit, but I'm pretty interested in just picking up both a 1, 2, and a 3, and another elite. And so what I kind of think that will have happen here is we're really going to try to like whittle out a lot of these Shurima cards and then try to kind of be an elite stack to where we can hit on our Bannerman like half the time. So let's take the Lucian here. Interesting. I mean, that was a Vi, you know, or a Sivir that would have been a decent one to take. I'm still interested in those Lucky Fawns. I think we can do some work with those. Be good to know if there was a challenger one. But reasonable start. Have a ton of 1-drops, so you can also consider just trying to hard mulligan for them. LeBlanc, yes, whoa. Get this LeBlanc taken down with the Fleet Feather Tracker.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Okay, that works for me. we'll play the Hopper. This should stop him from playing another unit. I mean, maybe we should have spent all of our mana because our hand is slightly awkward here. But I think this is okay. I think this just kind of lines up to him telling us that he's going to play a LeBlanc.
I need just a moment.
You got caught.
Sure.
Everything's easier behind a mask.
Cut them for our god!
Okay, certainly need to come in and block this thing. Not really, really excited about these rock bears in this particular deck, but that is what it is. We gotta get this down at some point. We don't have any like sacrifice combos, and so I don't want to wait until like turn 9 before we're trying to get this dude down on the board. Okay.
If I didn't forge it, you won't want it.
Few earn the right to call themselves Trifarian.
Drawing all the cards, huh?
Discipline and steel!
I go!
So it doesn't matter which little unit we slam this into, but it'll protect our Battlesmith for a couple more turns. Seems pretty good for us.
My board!
My time has come.
Could see the Boomerang Blade being useful next turn. So let's see how this plays out. Let's play the Companion. This should shut down the Protector. And see if we can't get a Boomerang Blade. We're about to have a pretty big board. It costs 7, we could spend 3, or if this is not a place for Ricochet. So let's add more chefs. I guess we have to attack with this first, or it's too obvious that we're up to shenanigans. Probably just gets a trick here or something and gets a little awkward, but okay.
Flavor and spice!
Ugh. He has to just have follow-ups to this, right? No, just sitting around hanging out on his guile. And I'm also not sure how Ricochet plays out here. I have a feeling this is going to be one of these cards to where we're going to hit this Jolt Protector like 3 times, even though it has 1 health. I don't think I've actually seen the Ricochet animation happen. Okay. So it did all just go face. Cool. It's at least on the smart side of things. He had no play. That would be pretty sweet. I think he's considering dropping this Guile on our Warships, though. I don't think he actually has a play.
Forgets, but
Wrong.
Black Rose remembers.
Okay. How do we get this together? This is a 13 mana play, so we can't do it for 2 turns. We have to play the Rock Bear. This is just too bad if he
My move.
to take all of this. Take 1 LeBlanc hit, that's okay. Now we can open with Boomerang Blade and see if we can't kill both of his units. It'd be pretty cool if we did. So far behind if this falls off. Our sweet little tutus down here. Okay, we can still deal with a LeBlanc. She's not ultra scary right at this stage. Okay. That seems fantastic for us. It feels like he's just like got another combat trick. that he's going to use to protect her with. We can play the first blade, still be a little greedy with this Bannerman.
All will kneel before Noxus.
That didn't turn out as good as I hoped. Alright, well, we'll just have to bank on this for Demacia being able to win the game.
Darling, you are dressed to kill.
Is it really so obvious?
What a treat.
This is the fun part.
Okay, so I mean, we're about to drop some elites. I think we can get rid of War Chefs. This will be a 5-5 on the attack next turn, so I guess this can go away. 4 from LeBlanc. Her flip won't kill us, right? I'm not familiar with this. 2 damage to think. Or she flips and makes mirror images. Okay. Yeah, not that hot. I still can't... We let our mana get too awkward this game. Sure. And so that was where we really struggled here. We probably should have just chose to spend all of our mana every turn instead of trying to be cute. Because it's so brutal when it's like turn 5 and you have a 3, a 3, and a 4, and a 4, and there's just nothing you can do. That's why I preach really managing your curve so much. so much. It's so you don't run into spots like that. It would have been completely different if we were able to spend all of our mana. But I mean, we lost on like turn 9 there, and seems like we passed like 3 or 4 turns where we banked like 5 mana. So not ideal whatsoever. So here with this one, I am interested in Cataclysm, but these Rock Bears need to go. We're really starting to get this kind of elites thing going, and having a 3rd Battlesmith is pretty powerful, so I'm pretty happy to pick that one up. Okay, still salvaging, still bringing it back together. That was awkward. Get in such a bond when I think we should have just done everything we could to spend all our mana every turn, and we would have been in a better spot instead of trying to get the value with our Bannermans and our Blacksmiths or whatever they're called. I think that was a mistake that we made there. Well, let's recover. Let's give the business to this Ashe here. It's a little unfortunate with the Squire that we don't have any elites. I think I want to do something like this. We'll hang on to it and see if we mulligan into one, which we did, because we're very good at this game. And then see if we can't get some kind of good hook going with Lucian, since that is the entire idea here. Probably don't. I mean, we don't need to do it like right now. It's okay if we get hooks on like turn 5 and take down his Ashe or something. Ashe, Trundle, Aurelion,
See
Soul.
the Demacian border from here. Safeguard our homes.
You don't understand.
I'm going to go ahead and do this one. The thing that we run into here that ultimately gets pretty scary is if he has Brittle Steel. And so if he had Brittle Steel, he probably wouldn't attack, but we want him to have to spend his Brittle Steel on that unit that isn't the unit that isn't Lucian, right? So we'd rather him have to Brittle Steel than kill our other thing. And I'm kind of okay with just killing this Mountain Goat, right? He's only playing 1 Ashe. I don't think we have to be super worried about her. What the fuck? Where'd it go? What do we do? Next time you summon an ally this round. Oh, I guess we should have read the card. I thought it just gave him Challenger. Okay. Well, we got the same outcome we were going for. And he had the Brittle Steel. Wow. Okay. Too bad. So ballsy to make that play. I mean, I guess cycling away the thing isn't the worst, but that did not play out how I expected.
Discipline and steel.
How about another round?
I protect my own.
Got a trick, we'll take it. Like the thing with this now, this might be a slight mistake in the sense that you know, we're kind of building up to Cytherea. We get to attack with her a couple turns from now, and so it would be nice if our board was wide. But I think this is one of these games where our board's just going to get better than his rapidly, and so I think I'm okay with that happening. Maybe not. I mean, he's playing Aurelion Soul Trundle, so he's going to be in the Otherworldly Journeys kind of theme, but he hasn't really done anything to show us that he's not more of an Ashe deck than he is a Invoke deck, as he plays the Priestess. But he has a lot of bad draws here. Aurelion Soul turns out not a spectacular draw into this board.
Defiance is our way.
Okay, then I'm going to stop here. The idea with this is I'm just going to play Cithria on his turn and then play for Demacia on our following turn. And then if anything's too scary, we have some choices to answer his units. It doesn't feel like a really strong value to like attack with the Companion and have it just trade with the Tavern Keeper, or attack with both and then have the Tavern Keeper value block our War Chefs. I'm just not particularly interested in either of those. Looks like he's setting himself up for that outcome, but could this be good here? Okay with losing the War Chefs. Okay with taking 7 as well.
The trolls are going to war!
Okay, well, Cithria will shut a lot of this down.
And a long path to get here.
A morsel of regret.
Still seems okay. Interesting. That's moderately frightening when he just doesn't do anything. What happens if we just pass? Do we ever get advantages out of this? Like, we're gonna add Captain Erika next turn, hook his Trundle. Like, I think that part of this thing is fine. Just ultimately pretty scary when he doesn't play into us, and our board's like not that good. Like, my big worry is like we play a for Demacia. I think this is probably still okay. Like, if we play for Demacia, then he has like a Harsh Winds or something here. It's just getting counterspelled. It's not the end of the world. Alright, what you got for us, friend?
A chill in the air.
One Frostbite? Sure.
Nothing stands in our way.
If it's a fight they want,
Okay, I mean, should be whittling this down a little bit. He might take 6, it seems safe. Ooh, if this gets a Fury of the North or whatever, that's also pretty okay. I mean, how's this gonna take 6? That's what I kind of suspected. But how's this gonna play out next turn? He's just gonna open with his Ice Pillar. It's gonna get vulnerable to our Fleet Feather Tracker, which we don't really care about anymore. And then we can Captain Erika his Trundle.
I'm gonna make a U-sickle.
Oh, it hits our strongest, not our weakest. Again, I get that confused with the Minotaur Reckoner. Okay. Do we ever just like wait for combat instead? It's pretty scary if we try to make a concerted strike play and then
I cannot recover all that is lost.
he has a like a Frostbite. So this can go wrong. Like if he has a, you know, he just needs a +2 attack to take down our Cithria, but I think this is reasonably okay. Okay, so he's going to take Cithria down with his Wild Claw. Makes sense.
This one's on the house.
another round.
So, I mean, we're going to hit Reputation, so we can start playing these for 3. Could be important. I'm kind of interested in, like, trying to pop his units so that we can, like, hook the pillar with the Great Horn Companion. Alright, let's see how this plays out. I feel like this is going to be how we expect these these ricochets to go, where it's just going to be like 1 damage to face, 1 damage to the pillar, 1 damage to the goat, and 2 damage to the tavern keeper. It just be like, wow, that was actual nothing that happened. Oh, they go 1 and 1 and 3 to face. All right.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
Okay, all right. Things are happening. And with our mana like this, we can still Concerted Strike or play this other card if we want. Take you down, you down. Can't imagine we'd ever just win here, right? We do have the option to play a removal spell onto his Kindly Tavern Keeper, but he has to have like a something. He has to have a removal or a Harsh Winds or something here like every time. Maybe not a Harsh Winds. I guess we should reasonably assume he doesn't have a Frostbite since he doesn't go after our Great Horn Companion, but it's not like he's just sitting here on Battle Furies or something, and that's why he's not playing anything. I mean, I guess he could be. Could just be sitting here on Battle Furies.
Fly our standard with pride.
Do we care about this? Not a whole lot. Okay. Do believe he's making a play on our captain here. Okay. Sure thing, boss. Hell yeah, Battlesmith. Right on time. Okay. So how much do we have to invest in this? It's like, yes, he picks up Aurelian Soul, but we can kill both of his units and then get wider than him. Which I think I'm pretty on board with.
If I didn't forge it, you won't want it.
Admire me.
Okay. He needs like quite a bit for this to not work out. So we'll do 7 to this thing. Shouldn't be any ways to give this +5 health, and we'll try to take down his Weirding Stones. Open attack. I think we're okay. He needs a ton of cards for this to not work out.
I do love an audience.
Enemies, take heed.
Okay, let's see if he's got that ton of cards. Alright, good deal, good deal. So let's take a peek. Alright, alright. Are we just going full on into the leaving Sivir behind and going into the elites? I think that's where we want to be going. We're gonna miss so hard on these bannermen. But what do we even have as far as like Sivir-y kind of cards go? Like, but I'm okay with like pivoting into elites. It's just my big worry is like if we take this bannerman, then we just have to like trade away every Shurima card that we see, and we have to take Lucian with our next pack. And I don't feel like I'm like really on board with that. So let's let that slide for a minute. The other options we have, I'd like to get rid of this Purify. Grizzled Ranger is a reasonable unit. Also okay with picking up back-to-backs because our top end is pretty light here. I mean, we do have Cytherea, Captain Erika. Back-to-back plays into that quite well, having just a big combat trick for the end of the game. But yeah, I think this is fine. Let's not chase the Bannerman. Like, I'm okay with rolling the dice on these, but let's continue to see what we can piece together with these Sharama cards. So I think I just want the Grizzled Ranger. Oh, how much removal do we have though? If we are we willing to let Strafing Strike go? Like if we kind of consider this, as like a middling removal spell, we have the 2 trackers. We have Rockhopper to make a vulnerable, getting rid of Strafing Strike, Sand Spinner, and then the 2 Silverwing Vanguards. So we don't have like direct removal other than Weight of Judgment, Concerted Strike, but we have a lot of challengers and such. I'm thinking I just want the Grizzled Ranger here. Is that too many 4s? How many 4s does that give us? Now that I look at the mana curve, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus a spell, and then we're looking to pick up another Sivir. Okay, I'm just going to take the back-to-back. We don't quite have combos with the strike cards. That seems like that's here to a degree, but okay. That looks like a curve. Good, if arguably played the Fleet Feather Tracker, but kind of the idea that I had here is that we're going to probably be killing off a unit on the 3rd turn with an open attack. Wanted to see if we could get that Redeemer value on 3.
If it's made of sand, I can write it.
Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case.
Watch me.
Yep, this is still okay. Oh, bringing all the Rock Bears. So he'll get 1 on our next attack. Can hook it with the Fleet Feather Tracker.
We 3, you got caught.
Okay. So the thing that gets weird with this, like, we have to assume he's going to hook the good unit, right? And then we can purify into this. So that's going to happen. Now our question is, do we just play Sivir? Or do we want to just like draw a card and play for value? I think we probably just play Sivir. Now that we're going to be running into these Rock Bears, I think we need to. It's the only way we're going to continue on our aggression.
Danger pays.
Last to Natural May buys me a new sail.
Okay, I think I'm okay with the Lancer getting vulnerable. He still has to hook it with his good unit.
For the hand!
Okay. All seems reasonable. How much damage do we have here? 10, 12? Do we ever get this Sivir flipped before combat? We can flip mid-combat and give like half of our team bonuses. Again, Ricochet seems horrible. That's the ongoing theme with Ricochet. Okay. Surprised he killed off our unit that already has vulnerable on it. Okay, so I mean,
I have urgent news.
we have to give up our Sivir. Can't level her in the middle of combat. A little unfortunate.
This pay by the hour.
What happens if we just take 10 and then try to make him block next turn? Like if we block here, we can play Cytherea. Then okay.
Stand strong.
It's just like, do we ever win this game without Sivir? I think we probably could.
Meet my blade.
Let's just get time. I'm okay with this.
Can't steer. No.
All right, now that we know how Tattered Banner works, we can Tattered Banner play Cytherea. It's weird that there's no animation for that. Okay. Glad we didn't play this super greedy. But if we get some time, we'll be okay here. We get these Captain Arikas eating up his units. Cytherea is still a good blocker here as well. Can eat landmarks with this, but I don't think. I think we ought to just be taking the active unit, right?
All will kneel before Noxus.
A little short on the usefulness, my friend. Do we ever end up wanting to ricochet here? I don't think so.
One heart can shape the fate of a nation.
Did he get tough? Seems awful. +1, so can tango with Cytherea now, but I'm okay with her just dying. Destroy one of your gems to draw a champion. Okay, is that slow? So we probably just have to attack now. Who's going to draw, either Sivir or LeBlanc? Sivir's flipped. LeBlanc has to be flipped as well, right? No, she has to see the damage. Well, he's not going to actually play one of these champions, right? We have this the Cytherea that can hook stuff.
Blood or gold, I always
What do I know?
my share. Heroes go hungry.
We've gotten in since these trade with his Rock Bear now. Yeah.
Follow my lead.
Okay.
I'm like, well,
I think this is fine. We'll just take some time and get the Vanguard Sergeant going, and I think we're okay. Don't care.
Noxus! No fear!
Does he ever burn us out from 4? I don't think there's any new cards that we have to worry about, right? There's the LeBlanc flip card that does 2 damage. He could have Brothers Bond, I guess. Alright.
Die! Die!
Let's not be ultra greedy here when we're about to throw down all this stuff.
Smell that? A fight's a cooking.
Okay. Alright, feels much better now.
Discipline and steel!
Courage and valor.
There's a draw. Okay. So nice hit with the second Captain Arika. It was really nice to pick up a removal spell. It's not a card that I like playing more than one copy of. I'm happy with 1. I typically don't like playing 2. It's just too easy to have them get stuck in your hand, but that certainly was a good one to be picking up. Okay, then I think I am pretty on board with all of these Sivir cards. On the going into the elites, there is another Cytherea Garen, but what can we do with? Can we do anything with this? We can hit. Who are you called? Technically, hit Rockhopper. The big one we could hit is Vanguard Sergeant. Technically, Silverwing Vanguard can do stuff. Vanguard Bannerman can do stuff. This right when the unit comes back into play. Summoned, not played. We have some things. It doesn't really play to our theme. I'm mainly kind of interested in siphoning Strike here, but this is a pretty good Garen. My problem with this Garen is like we have so many Battlesmiths already, and I'm just kind of wanting to try out Sivir. in these various Sivir cards. This is, like, I kind of have an idea how like Ancient Hourglass and these things are going to work, but we ever take advantage of Siphoning Strikes? We already have one Concerted Strike, which is typically enough here. All right, well, let's take the Sivir. I don't think this is the right one. I think, but these are new cards, and we did try out the new cards, and so I just wish we had a way to get some of those lucky finds now. I don't know where it stands on like trying to fit those into your deck. I didn't realize you had to like directly play those on your units. It's kind of awkward. Okay, that's at least a curve. I think well. Is he playing? I think it's okay. I was gonna say I wanted to see if he was playing Sand Soldiers. Good. We picked exactly what I was hoping to hit in the Battlesmith. Alright, let's do it. Get my Legion Rearguard out here. Poor guy. Poor Legion Rearguard. I think we typically want to open here just because the Battlesmith is such a non-combat unit. Like, yes, our opponent just didn't play a card, but I think, you know, more often than not, we would rather just you know, kind of count on our opponent having a unit there. Did he Nightfall that? Yeah, he played the icon and then... Okay. I want to at least get one Marauder down and see where this gets us. We have this Purify we're probably not going to play, but I want to go ahead and draw a card with the Redeemer. Really like to be churning out more elites. Okay. We're going to churn out more elites, but just not in the manner we intended. Can't combat well with this thing now. I think we have to at least just go ahead and trade.
We march.
Yes, you do.
Hangs on to the prey. It's a big chunk of damage we just sent in. Makes sense. You shouldn't be able to slay anything. And then he hits the weakest unit, right? You slay a unit, kill the weakest. I think I'm kind of on board with this. We're going to add the companion and then just for Demacia. We don't have any good plays otherwise. We don't have any way to answer this Kindred. It sucks to a marginal degree if he has a like a Vengeance or one of the things. I think there's cards now that like kill an ally to kill something else, but if he doesn't have any like real interactivity, then this should close out the game. Like, he doesn't want to be playing cards now that kill off the prey. The prey needs to be blocking the Great Horned Companion. It's a way to get some blocks in for sure.
They will.
Brutal. Brutal.
For glorious battle! No!
So we at least, you know, kind of survived the turn, but I assume he blocks everything, yeah. So we keep all of our units. The one thing's still going to die in the end of the day, but really surprised to see him taking damage here. Okay.
My saplings?
Its heart beats fast now.
It knows.
Can we get a boomerang blade into this stuff? I think so.
Their bones will litter the desert.
Ideally, we can get wider than him here. We unfortunately have to block.
No fear.
Soldiers, to me!
Say soldiers yeet. I'm old enough to be familiar with the word yeet. Oh, this is not good. Can we, like, silence out of these things? Can you silence this mark off of you? I don't think you can. Alright, we're gonna lose this one.
I'll take the other.
Push back the darkness.
One can only stay it so long.
This was fun. Who will we chase now?
Everyone, dear wolf.
So, I mean, we can hit Kindred with Captain Erika. That's how we're gonna have to start this, but I feel like we're too far behind now.
One heart can shape the fate of a nation.
Not 100% certain, but much in the same vein of Tom Kench, having a removal spell every turn of the game. It turns out it's pretty good. Okay, I mean, maybe if we can buy some time, I guess. Get this boomerang blade and this Fortimacia going. Oh, he just does nothing? Wow.
All things must pass.
Demacian, fight for your king.
The fuck? Huh. Okay, what up, Jarvan? We can't purify him, right? He's a follower, not a follower.
I protect my own.
Well, that sucks.
No quarter.
Sun's beneath me and winds behind me.
Well, I guess we could draw our Sivir. Maybe we can get something going. I have to imagine this is not good, but... Okay, sure. That just kills our whole team. Alrighty, well that happened. What else is there to say about that? Okay. Let's see, I'm always happy to trade out these Vanguard Lookouts. It's not a very good unit. It's reasonable in the sense that we have 3 Battlesmiths, but I don't really want it. The upper riposte is kind of interesting. We don't have any combat tricks up to this point, other than kind of having Purify. Not sure how riposte interacts with Sivir, if she gives barrier to everything. Not like you really need it at that point, because all your units have quick attack, but it's interesting to know. So, I've been reasonably happy with Boomerang Blade. Let's just get rid of the Lookout. I think he's a particularly interesting unit here. He is nice in this kind of like Sand Soldier meta. We haven't played against the Sand Soldiers, but you know, Azir is much more common than he typically would be. But in general, it's just a fairly weak unit as we play against Azir. Okay, do something like this, try to find one of our ones. We could arguably get rid of everything, but we only have 6 ones. That's not like super reliable. But hey, look at us. So these spots do get awkward, you know. We ran into this a little earlier. If you want to get Challenger on your Fleet Feather Tracker, you know, it's ideally we want to play the most stats on the first turn, but you know, if we want our tracker to get Challenger, then we can't quite work it out. I think it's typically okay to just play the tracker on 2 and then the War Chefs on 3. Ideally, we would have like Sharp Sights in our deck, but okay, this will all work out. I'm just going to go ahead and run out the Battlesmith. We don't have any elites at this point, so if he wants to go ahead and trade, that's fine. more interested in being able to look down his next unit with the Fleet Feather Tracker War Chef. Yep. And so I mean, it sucks to lose it on the value unit, but at the end of the day, it's a 2 mana for a 2 mana trade.
It's Draven time.
Feed Demacia.
Cool.
Feel the sizzle.
Correct order, please. Alright.
Eat up, friend.
I mean, this is the spot where like back-to-back does get a little bit better, but you know, ideally we'll draw a unit here. That's a unit. We at least get to bank up some manas here.
These dunes are the lifeblood of Shurima.
We march.
And it's a non-zero chance we can just kill him next turn. He's never going to block to where we can just win with back-to-back, but you know, if he tries to get cute, then we can actually kill him with the back-to-back here. I think we'll end up just getting in a +3 damage and then save our unit. Oh, ooh, okay, let's go for it. Strikes aren't good enough to kill our... Well, I guess he does have spinning axes, so strikes can be good enough to kill our units, but... Nice. Yeah, Adam. Okay, man, this Captain Erika's been good. I kind of want to pick him up, but no, this Ricochet has just been terrible. So Ricochet for Squire is good. I'm not opposed to picking up reinforcements, but I do not like Ricochet. So let's just pick up the Squire. He's pretty good here. Okay. All right. I don't know what point to call it to say that we've salvaged it, but after we didn't get knocked out after 0 wins and 1 wins, I feel like I can say that we've successfully salvaged. Some of these have been close though. Like I don't like this deck. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like what we've put together here, and I know that to a degree, like we should have just jumped in on elites. Our deck should be like 2 Bannermen with like the Garens and the Lucians and just like 1 Sivir, and then doing everything we can to push these Shurima cards out. But I mean, you know, it's not January 2020. We've played elites before. We haven't played with these new Shurima cards yet, and so gotta at least give them a try, even if it's not the most ideal of circumstances. But this guy, he thinks it's like June 2020 or something. He's out here with his Teemo Gangplank decks. He probably just realized you can hit Plunder off a Puff Cap, and he wants to give that stuff a go. So it's all right. It's all right, bud. It's all right. He dropped his phone in the toilet as well. Cool, that's a curve.
Cut them for our God! Behold our fury!
Okay. Got lots of opportunity here. I can't wait to keep messing this card up. I do hope they put some kind of animation on this thing. It's weird to me that these things get so far to where it's like nobody was like, I played the card, what the fuck happened? Like I couldn't see anything happen because there was no like little burst animation or something. But I'm sure Riot's got somebody on the case. Alright, I do worry for TTREWQ's phone. I think it might have gone in the toilet. That happens though. I mean, he's probably there, he's at work, taking his afternoon dump, his morning dump, whatever time zone he's in, who knows. Just accidentally drops it. It happens.
It's dangerous.
And he's
out
back.
there. Take this.
So it is, you know, moderately interesting here. I don't think we need to just sit here and play for the value.
Our ancestors are watching.
I think I'm good to just make a 4/4. Right? If we're going to attack, he's going to trade with this clump into the Marauder. I think I'd rather get an additional 4 damage into face as opposed to get the card in hand. Because as it stands, we do want to hang on to our Battlesmith because we're going to get a big bunch of health out of the Silverwing Vanguard, but or a big bunch of attack, I should say. But I don't quite care about. We just go and prevent, huh? He's playing cards that we're familiar with. I see people make a block like that and be like, okay, he's just going to AoE us. He's going to play some, you know, Spirit Fire or whatever the new card is called. But it's not in these factions here. You need 2 cards out of Piltover for that to be a thing.
Just needs a little love.
Okay, let's pass and see what happens here. I mean, I assume he's just going to play the map on something and attack, but
2 lefts,
I
then
don't.
right.
I don't want to like completely play our hand that we're about to smash in with all this health. Okay, let's say we're about to crash. Okay. Oh goodness, excuse me. So I don't think we want any of these. This doesn't feel like a deck where Siphoning Strike is particularly good. I think there's a world where this is good. I mean, it's probably not horrible here, but again, like if we managed to piece together this deck to where we have like, you know, Sivir with Overwhelmed, then Siphoning Strike seems a lot better. I guess, I mean, it has like Nasus staff on the art, whatever people call that. I don't know if Nasus has Overwhelm on one of his flips, but you know, you're really looking for like Overwhelms with this thing, right? And it's just not really, you know, Sivir's wheelhouse. That's maybe a Nasus thing. It's a Renekton thing. But you know, don't get me wrong, this is a good ability. Like getting a strike onto something plus 4 stats for 5 mana is very worth it. I just don't think it's what our deck is really looking for here. So we're going to let that one go. I don't want more than one back-to-back, so we'll let that go. And then I want to hang on to our 3 Battlesmiths. So these are all good skips. Okay. What do we got here? Sejuani with LeBlanc. I've been kind of interested in trying out Sejuani with, I think we to keep all this. Just get the curve all the way through. No, I'm interested in Sejuani with the new Freylord card. It's out of the Lysandra stuff that just deals the damage to everything. Because as we talk about with, I think we want to start with Marauder, right? Well, I don't think the Sejuani decks... Okay, I'm going to start with Marauder. The reason I was giving this pause is, like, if he plays a Lonely Poro or an Omen Hawk or something, then I actually want the Penitent Squires, but I felt like he was probably not going to have those. But no, the thing that does damage to everything, it's a Lysandra card. It seems, you know, pretty interesting with...
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Whatever, I'll just let him pick the best of the best out of what we have here. But there's so many just like tough units and stuff within these Lysandra cards, and so or within these Sejuani cards, and so you know we always talk about with Sejuani and Gangplank the ability to deal damage to our opponents on their turn, being you know the big thing that we can do with those. And so if you know we're able to have the big thing that we do as you know deal damage to our opponents on their turn, maybe have a tough unit like that 3/1 overwhelm tough thing. Like it seems like there's some good stuff that we could do with that Flash Freeze and Sejuani. It's not called Flash Freeze, but the 1 damage AoE.
I stand for Noxus.
Moving
Want to do it like this? I'm pretty sure I'm cool with this. Like, if he wants to get a hook next turn with on any of this stuff, I'm pretty okay with it. Okay, and then the thing that gets awkward for us here is wanting to give Sivir the banner, but not having the mana to do it. So good, he's opening on us, which is nice. Just happens, okay. Is it this turn? Grant it Challenger. So let's at least... Oh, we're out of elites, aren't we? Okay, well. We got into this trial wanting to do like quick attack challengers, and then like our one chance to do it shows up and we can't do it. I think we just have to run out Sivir. See, if we draw an appropriate elite, we can maybe get something going next turn, but... There's the card. Ice Shard. Why is he playing Ice Shard here? To break her spell shield? I'm actually okay with that. What's gonna happen? She's gonna get hit with like Whirling Death. So let's get units on board. I guess this is actually not a very good unit, right? If we suspect our opponent has gone to Whirling Death us, then we probably just should have attacked, right? He's just going to block and then Whirling Death out. But all right, we're in. I think at least if we end with like a full cleared board here, this is probably good for us either way. Right, he's going to be down to just a handful of cards. Yeah, same thing as Whirling Death. Okay. But we do pick up an elite. Could be useful. Captain Erika loves hanging out with the squad. Alright, I think we can do cool stuff now.
Striking looks and stunning wit.
We want to start with the tracker. We just want to make sure that we have 2 cards down. And then the idea is that I want to play the banner and Sivir. I don't think we even really need to be doing this, but... Okay. Now he's just going to attack into us. That's the kind of the downside of this type of play. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, the rest of this is too slow, so let's just go ahead and get in here. Unless we can lethal, right? If we can hit for... This is 10. Okay, let's slow our roll.
I must reach the king.
This forces him to... I guess it doesn't. Oh, I forgot about the Guile. Oh, that was...
I've had enough of you.
It's actually okay. He's going to respond to this now, though. This is where he's going to punch Sivir with his... damage card. Oh, maybe not. I like the idea of the play we made if he didn't have Guile in his hand and then we just actually knew it. You know, that's what gets kind of awkward with this play that we made. But
I mustn't stop.
we don't even need to put damage on Sejuani, do we? I guess it's just going to happen either way. Could she deal 1 damage? We're going to deal 15. Yeah.
It's a living.
Right? I dig it.
This pay by the hour.
Okay.
Blood or gold, I always get my share.
So cool. Yeah, it seems like we're in a pretty good spot now. I think this is okay.
onward.
I'll take the bait. Whatever's happening here, I'm on board with it. Sure.
If we are to survive,
Basically, I just wanted to get him to spend that mana, right? That's the ideal situation happening here. He spends all his mana, can't play units because he played spells, so we would have preferred that to have been like a Fury of the North or something, but...
business as usual.
And should we attack with her on the right while I'm attacking? She needs to be down here to keep bonus on Erika. Doesn't matter, but curious. We'll have to remember that sequencing in the future. Okay, let's get these trades in. Get up to the final battle. Let's see. Don't want Garen. We're hanging on to Sivir. We're giving her a try. And I don't think we want to get rid of these other ones. I do like the Squire. Maybe she is actually a little better than the Rockhopper. I really like giving that permanent boost Lucian and into Sivir as long as we don't play it don't play it wrong. Okay, I'm on board with the Squire actually. Don't want Radiant. Reinforcements over Boomerang Blade seems very good. Just plays on theme with what we're doing. Voice of the Risen I'm kind of interested in. We've leveled champions this game, but every time we've leveled Sivir we've just won the game. And so I don't think she really belongs here, and I'm not really excited to get rid of Concerted Strike. But getting rid of Purify for reinforcements is fine. Solidify all of our top end here. Quit trying to give us Garen, but do give us the Grand Plaza. That's all I can think of now. Is like there's so many of these like challenger based cards, and it's just like, yeah, let's just take the Grand Plaza with that. But all right, let's do it. Right, final battle begins. In time with the Grand Plaza. I was curious all along, like now that they've added all these cards in the Jarvan pool, like the dude that gets barrier the first time he gets challenger and stuff like that. Just how good the Grand Plaza was going to be in here. I mean, it has to be like super awesome that they that they nerfed it before all of these like additional rally and barrier cards came out for Demacia. It was already oppressive, but I don't need to throw fuel to the fire. Okay, this is not a fantastic start, but at least got a 1-drop. That switched to fantastic pretty quickly. And so it's tough. You have to assume that he's just going to be like the Jarvan deck here. And so I'm going to lead off with the Marauder. You know, if he plays like the 2/2 that you know puts the challenger card in your hand, then fine. The big worry I would have is if he plays, you know, something like a hapless aristocrat, and then we don't have a way to come in and interact. But it seems like we're okay. I don't think he can give this challenger, right? There's no ways in the game to just give this challenger on the first turn with 1 mana. So let's get in here and be all aggressive and stuff.
Cut them for our God! For glorious battle! Bring in the heat!
So it can, you know, probably do it on his next attack, but this game is going down quick.
Years take,
So
experience gives.
maybe this is why they nerfed just an on guard to take down Lucian. Okay, and say maybe this is why they nerfed the Legion rear guard. So you don't do stuff like this. Like we have open lethal next turn. I don't think there's a good argument to not open. I think if he has a strike card, then we can come in and still just strike it down. Vengeance we can't deal with, but still feels pretty okay. Be able to add a Swiftling Lancer here. He can't play any cards because he just spent all his mana, and then have a reinforcements next turn. Pretty sure this game's done. Okay, well, let's at least reinforce before he can hook in our Battlesmith. We could arguably want to concerted strike this, but I would rather get 2 cards on board and lose 1, I think, than leave this thing sitting around. Another pretty good spot to be in here. He has to answer both reinforcements. We have the hook way down here on the right. We have the concerted strike in case something comes up. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Nice little, nice little 7-winner. So I mean, I guess after how challenging it started out at the beginning, we deserved it, right? With that previous trial where we had like 2 and 3 cards off allegiance, and then we just missed 3 allegiances in a row, and then to start off with this one being a little shaky, kind of nice to come in and just annihilate the final battle. Sucks to be that guy. Unfortunately, that was that was a crushing blow for that dude. But it's pretty powerful start. We had these 8 1-drops, all very good. The 3 battlesmiths with the 2 Lucians is a pretty powerful early game set of cards that we have here. And so, yeah, I mean, this one turned out kind of interesting. I don't recommend drafting this. We didn't really come together with any of the synergies that we wanted, and that's kind of a function of being in the wrong card pools, right? We did at least manage to end in this kind of elite style deck with the Penitent Squire, because if you remember back to the beginning, the idea that we were looking to pull all along was to have Lucian, Senna, which we didn't see throughout the entire trial, and Sivir. If you notice, they all have quick attack. We're going to give those quick attackers Challenger and use that to control the board. Just turns out that theme doesn't quite exist here. If we were in Jarvan, if we had Jarvan, we could, or I think the place we would need to look for this is Renekton. And Renekton also has access to all of those cards that give vulnerable to your opposing units. So I know he has one that like gives the unit +2 attack and gives another card vulnerable. There's Exhaust that we had and traded away. These are the kind of options that we're looking for in this style of deck. But we weren't quite in the right place, and so that is what the Jarvan Renekton deck is meant to do. Not so much Lucian and Sivir, but nonetheless, I was glad to get to try out these cards. I do still have in my head that I would like some amount of the lucky gem, whatever lucky backpack, whatever that thing is that gives all of the separate like stats and abilities. I wish I knew if there was a challenger one. I don't know an easy lookup to find all of those abilities, but that was at least kind of the way that we looked to tie all these cards together. It's just we never really saw any of those that were takeable. I feel like that card is like probably right on the borderline of what we don't want in our deck. We talk about getting like and value out of cards, and I think that we have to really be getting some and value before we're just throwing like the lucky backpacks into our deck. And so if you're not familiar with and value, that's the kind of a concept to talk about. You can kind of easily see it with Reforge as to where just playing Reforge cards onto your units isn't really good enough. Like giving a unit quick attack sometime is fine, giving another unit overwhelm at the end of the game is fine, but you need some other kind of ability to go along with it. And so you need to be playing with like Augment or Taric, or you need to be playing like puff caps. It's something that it does a little bit more than just give your units the bonus that specifically lives on the card, and I kind of feel like that's how the lucky backpack cards are. And so it's like you need to be playing with like Lee Sin, or you need to be playing with Talia and getting some kind of bonus out of your landmarks. It just doesn't feel like enough to be playing those with Sivir, right? Because if you can give her Challenger, great. If you can give her Overwhelm after she's flipped, that's great, but in general, I don't think it's going to be too good. And so, yeah, I've gotten a little bit off track here. And so I guess like the kind of like 2 final comments I want to give on this. I don't have a lot of comments for this deck specifically. These card pools aren't really meant to push together. Being at the beginning of the set release, I think it's pretty reasonable to say, hey, these quick attack units like Challenger, can we push these 2 decks together and see what happens? I just don't think it was too successful here. And so, the big takeaways I want to call out of this is it does seem pretty powerful if you do get Jarvan or Renekton together. I think that will be a pretty powerful set of champions. And so, if you end up in Renekton, having these barriered units out of Demacia, having these elites out of Demacia, having access to Penitent Squire could be potentially pretty powerful. And so keep that in mind. And then the same thing applies as well if you, if we drafted Lucian and we're able to take Renekton, or if we drafted, say Jarvan, then maybe we could get this elites barrier challenger thing kind of going. But at least, do kind of think, even with these combos don't exist in these kind of card pools. They exist in general, but just not in the card pools that we picked. But that's what you're going to need to be kind of like thinking about and looking for is, we're never going to be flipping Lucian, but how do we still take advantage of these cards? And so that's what I think you should at least hopefully be able to pull out of this trial, or at least see, the ideas that we were trying to put together, even though that we don't feel like they were ultra successful here. And then I think, kind of the big takeaway with this trial, as far as, Sivir being a champion and the champions being the big and important cards out of this, I don't think she's a champion that we need 4 or 3 of. She feels a lot like Darius, as to where with Darius, we typically just play 1. If something like really happens with our curve to where, we don't have enough top end, we didn't take any like Armored Elephants or Savage Reckoners, or Kato never showed up, whatever, then, we can draft a second and a third Darius to fill in the top side of our curve. And that's kind of how Sivir feels. She does have, cost 4. She does come down quickly and is an effective unit, but she feels more like a 7 or an 8 drop to me, where we're just going to play her when she's flipped. She's just going to give us a unstoppable attack right at the end of the game and probably just close the game out. And so that's kind of my big takeaway with Sivir. She doesn't really have a lot of build around to her. If we could give her Overwhelm, that would be great. If you could give her Elusive, probably even greater. But good luck pulling that one off. But she feels like a champion that is okay to have between 1 and 3 copies of, and she fit right at home with this Lucian, to where we were just playing these champions because their stats are good, and we weren't looking to build towards a particular theme. But nonetheless, glad we were able to take this to 7. Pretty nice little run here. Let's run back over here. I know we have rewards. I've got the rewards for the trial. We've got this event pass that we're clicking through. The reward road is back, and so lots of stuff that we can pull off here. Cool, we got an upgrade to LeBlanc. Good stuff. Always happy to pick up the champions. So what do we have here? Got this sweet card back. We'll have to remember, I've been itching to change a card back. I'm getting kind of tired of the KDA one, so that's a nice little pickup. And I did immediately see on the Reddit people that unfortunately went and like here's the sun disk one. People that immediately went out and crafted the sun disks and then started on the rewards road after they started playing, and then found out that they were about to get them. It's a bit unfortunate, but dust is so common in this game, anyways, that I can't imagine it ever mattering. But card gamers love to get their value. It's having that value taken away, I'm sure, really rustled some jimmies. But we're here crafting Sivers just so that we can turn our premium, and so I can't imagine worrying too hard about the value you're getting out of your dust. Okay, let's see what comes out of the weekly chest, and we'll call it a day. We're still crafting stuff out of the previous set. Man, we got to get these monkey businesses and the scorched earth. Ooh, LeBlanc number 2. Cool. We're about ready to jump into constructed. Okay, that's what we expected. Just all extra copies. Yeah, maybe we'll roll up a champion on this final of diamond chests. We upgrade? It looks like there's a lot of little ticks down here at the end still. All right, no more champions, I guess, just the wild cards. But okay, nice little section of rewards for people that care about that. We are running quite thin on rewards at the end of Call of the Mountain, and so glad that is back. But that is going to do it for us today. I hope you all learned how to challenge just a little bit better. You maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.